And now that we've reviewed the kind of the status codes, we're going to look at modern APIs and what kind of they use on the website, on the web view. They also have common conventions and standards. They've evolved over the years. The most common one that we see now are called RESTful APIs. It stands for Representational State Transfer, and it's kind of a defined set of functions that's standard across like get, put, and delete on a defined protocol using HTTP. And it appears stateless, meaning the servers don't save client data or anything between requests, and the response back is in plain data. The main advantage of this is they can be easy to integrate with new applications, existing systems, and you can make development faster because you're not reinventing the wheel. You're not rolling your own weather service or GPS, what have you. And it allows your business to innovate, and you can rewrite just the API portion of their application versus the entire code base. So it makes it a bit separation of concerns, a little bit more robust. And if you look around the web on different sites, I just took a couple pictures, you'll see many different API uses. Big example I like to see is a weather app. So let's look at some top news sites around the web, and you'll get a small example of what I mean. So on Google News here, we have weather come through. So they're probably not rolling their own, they're not building their own weather service, they're just consuming an API. Someone else did all the hard work and are exposing this API to them. The New York Times has an example as well, and MSN has one example right there, and then Yahoo, of course, has their own example. Now, they're all from different services and different providers and different tiers, but the point is they're all consuming it, and they can kind of piece together their web page with different services. Like there's an API for weather, there's probably one for finance, there's probably one for images, so on and so forth. And if we do some investigation below, we can actually see that the weather for New York Times data comes back from this following endpoint. It probably uses another API to get this relevant info, and we can see that it's returned in JSON. So if I actually go into this, this is what I found on the New York Times website. I'll go ahead and do a quick demo here on how I got there. So we're going to go to New York Times, right? We're going to go ahead and load the page. I'm going to open up DevTools. I usually like to go to Inspect Elements and then go to the element I'm interested in. In this case, it would be this weather component here that will load shortly. And then if you go to the Network tab, that's when all the requests are coming through. The HTTP request and network request. If we go to inspect, we'll see this weather widget here. If I were working and somebody said, hey, this data is wrong, I'd go here and find the ID and go ahead and start troubleshooting there. Now, if the numbers are coming back wrong, I'd go to the network tab, go to the API. You see there's other APIs here, like here's one for market. They're pulling in some market data. So we've got, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the last change percent, the last change in the time. And then we have the weather here that we see, the current and 7-day forecast. And if we open this up a little bit, we'll see the headers. There's that status code 200 I was talking about before. Response headers, just the metadata passed in. And if we look at the response, we'll go to the preview, it's a little cleaner. We'll see the actual data coming back in JSON format, it's typical to see that. So if we open it in a new tab, it grabs this location. The phrase is mostly sunny. If we go back to the website there and close the viewport a little bit, weather app should pop up. We see there that mostly sunny, 37. So this is where the API, the front end is consuming this API at this endpoint right here. So you can kind of see all the data that exists there, and just poke around, go to your favorite site and see kind of what APIs are surfaced. So too long didn't read. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a way for applications to consume services and functions from other apps. They connect, they have a client and a server, and the most common one is REST. Thank you.